What do we mean when we say that human societies are advanced? Typically, we have something like the technological level of a society in mind, occasionally overlaid with some measure of socio-political complexity. And by those measures, our contemporary world is undeniably advanced. Our technology is sophisticated, our cities towering, and our systems of government, well, sometimes they were. But those measures of advancement are only two of many possible ones. Other equally valid measures might have more to do with health, happiness, or, for lack of a better word, fun. For those measures, our society is doing pretty poorly. So let us take a step back and look at a time and place that was undeniably advanced by any measure. I'm your host, and you're watching this channel. Let's start with the hunter-gatherer societies of the late Pleistocene epoch in North America. We usually think of hunter-gatherers as living in small, scattered bands, perhaps numbering up to 50 individuals. But archaeologists have discovered evidence of much larger, more densely populated settlements than previously believed. For example, the site of Cactus Hill in Virginia was occupied by a Paleo-Indian culture known as the Clovis culture around 13,000 years ago. Excavations there have uncovered the remains of some 2,000 individuals, suggesting that the Clovis people lived there for centuries and in much greater numbers than previously imagined. The settlement likely had a large communal space surrounded by individual dwellings. There's even evidence of a system of raised walkways connecting the buildings. Such walkways are common in traditional cultures today. But archaeologists are chalking this one up to the unique environmental conditions at Cactus Hill, namely the wet, muddy soil that would have made regular travel difficult. The presence of such large settlements suggests that hunter-gatherer societies were more advanced in their social organization than we tend to think. Some researchers have gone so far as to call them protocetes, although admittedly, that's a bit of a stretch. What's not up for debate, however, is that these settlements represent a high density of people living in relative peace. Most of the skeletons found at Cactus Hill show no signs of interpersonal violence, though there is evidence of conflict with neighboring groups. But that's hardly unique, Tunk. Even today, the most densely populated areas of the world are rife with conflict. And that is just one example of a hunter-gatherer society that was more advanced than we tend to think. Another is the Nucacmamari of the Amazonian rainforest. They live in small family-based camps that number between 40 and 60 people each, and spend their days hunting, fishing, and gathering plant. They have no chiefs or other leaders, but they do have a sort of rotating parliament known as the Great House, which settles disputes and organizes work party. This parliament is elected by all adult members of the community and acts as a sort of deliberative body, which makes it possibly the world's first democracy. In fact, hunter-gatherer societies have been remarkably successful at achieving what political scientists call the tragedy of the commons. In such systems, multiple individuals share access to a single resource, be it food, territorial tools, without some central authority to regulate its use. The resource is often quickly depleted. Yet, hunter-gatherers have somehow managed to sustainably harvest the world's resources for hundreds of thousands of years. For example, the Inuit of the Arctic have maintained a sustainable relationship with their environment, despite having hunted the same animals across the same territories for tens of millennia. So while our contemporary society may be advanced in some respects, it's by no means the first or only society to achieve greatness. Take a moment to consider the incredible feats of engineering required to build a house, design an airplane, or put a human being on the moon. Then consider that each of those things had been done many times over by the cultures of the late Pleistocene. And it starts to become clear that we have a lot to learn from our hunter-gatherer ancestors. At the end of the day, what does advancement even mean? Is it simply the ability to create ever more complex tools? Or does it also include things like social organization, sustainability, happiness, and health? If we broaden our definition, then it becomes clear that our hunter-gatherer ancestors were advanced in ways that we are not. I'm the host, If you want to help keep this content free, consider supporting the educational content. Thanks for watching.